Hi, I want to make another video to add some more explanation to help you with this week's assignments in Chapter 2, Finding the Main Idea. This is something that we go into a lot more detail in composition class, but I think it could be beneficial for us in reading class as well. In Chapter 2, you're going to look at a variety of sentences and groups of sentences, and in each group, there's going to be one main point and then a bunch of supporting details. So how do you tell the difference between the main point and the supporting detail? Well, the main point, especially in this book, as we talk about in composition class, can also be called the topic sentence. Not all paragraphs have a topic sentence, as we'll see in later chapters, but many do. And in this section, all of the groups of words have a topic sentence. A topic sentence is made up of two main parts, the topic and the controlling idea. The topic is usually the easy part to identify. It's oftentimes the subject in the sentence, although not always. Now, the controlling idea could be a little bit trickier. We'll take a look at an example. In this example, we see the sentence says, however, we now know that TV violence does affect people in negative ways. The topic of this paragraph is TV violence. It's the noun phrase, right? It's what the sentence is about. And then the controlling idea is negative ways. Negative ways, there we go. So what makes this the controlling idea? And what is the controlling idea? Well, basically there are two types of controlling idea. The first type of controlling idea is a division controlling idea. A division controlling idea takes the topic of the sentence and divides it into different parts. The division controlling idea is indicated with a plural noun. We see some examples here, like parts, ways, steps, reasons. And then in this type of paragraph, the supporting details are going to describe the different parts of the topic. So different steps in a process, different reasons why something is good or bad, different ways to write an essay, for example. So that's one type of controlling idea. The other type of controlling idea is an opinion type controlling idea. In the most basic terms, this controlling idea labels the topic as being either good or bad. Now there's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of different words you can use to indicate your opinion of the topic as being either good or bad. The most common one is probably adjectives. Adjectives describe a quality of a noun. So we have something that can be bad, it could be unpleasant or unsafe, or something could be good, you can describe it as great or practical. Another word you can look for to indicate an opinion type of controlling idea is a modal. The most common one is should. When you use should, you're making a recommendation. So if you're making a recommendation, you probably think that that is a good thing. So should. Other words that are similar are must and need to. And then the last one is a little bit more complicated. We talked about it a little bit in the previous chapter when we looked at vocabulary. When you identify new vocabulary, you first want to identify the part of speech and then the connotation. We talked about the connotation as being either good or bad or neutral. And the connotation can be a spectrum. It's not like 100% good or 100% bad. Things can be a little good or a little bad, very good or very bad. And here are some examples. We have vintage and out of date. Basically, they mean the same thing, that the topic is old. But when we use vintage, a lot of times we're describing things like clothing, maybe, and something that is vintage is good. It's a positive. It's something that's old. It's from the past, but it's like usually high quality or interesting for fashion reasons. Versus out of date is often used to describe technology. You know, if you have a pair of vintage jeans, or a vintage coat or a vintage jacket, that's great. That's a good jacket. But if you have a phone or a computer that's out of date, that's bad. Again, they both basically mean the same thing, but something is vintage is good and something that is out of date is bad. We have, like, often to describe a room, an apartment, or a house, we have two words, two adjectives, cozy and small. Small as an apartment, small as a room is generally not a great thing, but cozy is kind of like a warm, positive feeling, like, you know, sitting under a blanket next to a fire when it's raining outside or something like that. And then my favorite, inexpensive and cheap. They both mean the same thing in terms of low price, But something is cheap is not just low price, it could also be low quality, whereas inexpensive is only low price. So what would you rather have, a cheap phone or an inexpensive phone? Hopefully most of you said an inexpensive phone, because a cheap phone is probably low quality, low features, and could break easily. So connotative words, modals, and adjectives are three different ways to express an opinion connotation. And then the supporting details in this type of paragraph or essay are going to explain why that topic is either good or bad. So let's go back and look at our example sentence. Here we have an example main point, and again, however, we know that TV violence does affect people in negative ways. Now, this one does both, actually. We have division, ways, right? So in this paragraph, all of the major supporting details are going to describe the different ways, way 1, way 2, way 3. So we've taken the topic TV violence and we've divided it into 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 different ways that it affects people. And then we've also included the word negative, which is an adjective, and of course is very bad. So not only are we going to describe the ways that TV violence affects people, but we're also going to explain why these ways are bad, why these ways are negative. In conclusion, the main point is the most general sentence of the group. It's going to have a topic and a controlling idea. The division would be like a plural noun or maybe an opinion, an adjective, a modal, or a word that has strong positive or negative connotation. And then you look at the other supporting details. When it's a division controlling idea, the other sentences in the paragraph or the other sentences in the group in this case for this week's exercises are going to be descriptive sentences. They're going to describe the different parts, the different steps, the different types, the different ways. And an opinion type of controlling idea is going to label the topic as being either good or bad through modals, adjectives, or strong connotative words. And then the supporting details in the sentence are going to explain why that topic is either good or bad. Hopefully this helps you as you're going through these exercises. Again, you're going to look for that one sentence in each group that is the most general. It's going to label the topic as good or bad, or it's going to divide it into parts. That's going to be your main point, and the other sentences in the group are going to be the supporting details. Good luck on the assignment. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll do my best to help you. Good luck.